Taste of Dragons Gaming Podcast. We eat sandwiches and play games. Taste of Dragons Gaming Podcast. A podcast for everyone's day.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to yet another episode of Taste of Dragons, the Toddcast, the video game podcast that all you travelers listen to. And this week, we're heading to the sky where no man has gone before. The news is finalizing. And finally, it's awards season, y'all. And we got opinions. And as always, my name is Brian.
My name is Troy.
I'm Amanda.
And I'm Joe.
Another week, y'all.
Another week, another dollar. Pay me.
So I don't have any change, but like, would you take a hug?
Oh, yes.
Is that, would you take...
If I got paid in hugs, that'd be so great.
It's like, do you take hug-drids?
Oh.
Oh, man.
Would you, though?
Yes, I would. Yeah.
Okay, all right.
I'll take
That was a
hugs.
genuine
Hell
question.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, no Hassel this week. He had some problems with his back, as we all do getting up in age.
Hey, I've been there. Yo, I threw my
Yeah.
back out twice last year.
That's right, you did.
And like just taking out the trash.
We didn't podcast yesterday because I had a headache, and that was definitely because of my back. That wasn't like my head. That was
really?
like all my neck muscles. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
right. Oh,
because
the
you get to a
spine.
certain age, and then your spine's like, I'm tired.
Yeah, the spine's like, I'm not supposed to work like this. Why are we like always vertical? Stop.
Right?
Stop it.
Like 2 weeks ago, I fell asleep on the couch for like maybe a 40-minute nap, maybe.
Yeah.
I think I fell asleep on like a bundled up thing of like covers or blankets.
It was
And
a
when I
weighted
woke
blanket.
up, I must have just relaxed wrong, and I felt like I had a bruised rib.
I've been there. I've been there.
I physically could not sneeze for 4 days because
Did you almost sneeze and then like you? Like
I
you
couldn't because it was so painful. My body just shut it down. My body was like, no, we don't need to do that bad.
That's
Like if you
fun.
sneeze, like your rib is just gonna come out of your mouth.
It was so painful.
I remember in my 20s being at like a hotel room and then sleeping under a coffee table because there wasn't
Oh,
enough
yeah, I've
beds
been
for
there.
everyone. And now it's like, now that I'm like in my mid 30s, it's like, oh no, one of my pillows was crooked. I'll be messed up for a week.
Yeah.
I used to think it was fun if we didn't have enough room in the car in like high school and 20s that I would
Yeah.
jump in the trunk and just ride whatever half hour, 45 minutes until we got to our destination. No,
Right?
I'm 6'3". What was I doing? Your man's not coming out of that trunk. Next time I try that.
Oh, man. But let's start this week with a question, everyone. And so our question this week comes from Tariff. And they ask, if you were dropped into a Final Fantasy game, what would your job class be?
Ooh.
And it could be either like what it would be assigned to you, or you could choose whatever you think you would just be.
Do you think you could run by the job classes for us? Like the standard? There's
Like the
like
standard ones?
warrior, there's mage.
Yeah, there's fighter, there's mage, there's fighter, there's black mage, white mage, red mage, blue mage.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
I don't know about
there's
no red
samurai, there's monk, there is summoner, thief, pugilist, a couple other ones.
Pugilist.
It's like a fist fighter.
Yeah, fist fighter.
Yeah, I just like it. It's
Yeah,
like that
monks fight with their palms. Pugilists fight with their fists.
Monks do the Buddha's palm?
Yeah.
name. No, I'm healer. I'm support class. I am a bona fide support character in game and in life.
Yeah.
Like, hey, you need help with something? I'm gonna do the best I can. So I think, and also I feel like healers help add strategy. They all add strategy, but a different, very meaningful type of strategy to any type of RPG game, where it's not just about making the numbers go up. It's about making some numbers come down.
That's right.
Or vice versa. Anyway, so I would definitely be healer class. Give me that white robe. I don't know. I get a staff, I think, right?
Yeah. Oh, you absolutely get a staff.
Hell yeah.
Is there a green mage?
No, there's a time mage.
Oh. And they were green?
Wait, what powers would come with this green?
Yeah, but
I think the time mage is technically green.
What powers are you looking for?
Yeah,
they're
what
mad
do you want?
scientists.
Okay.
And they like flora.
They're like Flora.
Yeah.
You could be a time mage that has. Are there jobs?
Yeah,
like,
there's jobs. So you could be.
Do they cook? Do they know how to cook?
You could be. I don't know, a summoner as well.
Yeah,
You
maybe
can
a
summon
summoner.
homunculi.
You can summon greens. You can summon animals. You can
All
then
right,
be a butcher.
I'm there.
Yeah.
I'm time mage. I'm there.
Okay, time made.
I was initially going to ask you, is there like a stabby, but you're using a cook's knife? But I'd prefer to be a mage.
That's just a toneberry. That's
There, you're right. Actually, I would just be a Tonberry. You're right. I would not be a hero. I would not be a class. I would be a Tonberry.
If you don't know what a toneberry is, look it up right now. They're the cutest yet the most scariest, fearsome creatures in
They
the
are.
Final Fantasy.
Oh, they
universe.
absolutely. They only fight with a kitchen knife, and they only have to
and
stab
a
you once.
lantern.
It's true.
And they just slowly walk towards you. So cute.
They're so cute, and they're so confident with what they're gonna. They're like, you could run if you want to. Don't let me catch you.
They're also like one
You're not
hit
gonna
kills
live if I
though.
catch
They're
you.
one hit kills.
Yeah, that's me. I'm a Tonberry. I negate the time mage entirely. Tonberry.
Yeah.
Sign me up.
All right. I like it.
I think in every video game where you get the option of a class, I always end up with the bow and arrow. Like I think that I'm going to do something else, but it just inevitably I play that game of like using my abilities to keep things as far away from me as possible so I can shoot them with arrows, and then if they get to me before they're dead, then I die. But if I get to them before, that game, that back and forth game.
So an archer.
So probably in an archer. But if I was going to be a little more realistic, I feel like I just want to be like the assistant to the guy working on the airships. I feel like
Ooh.
that falls in line with my actual skills. Like if you drop me into an archery range, I'm going to look real good with a bow. I'm not going to hit nothing. But realistically, with my skill set, I feel like I could like calibrate airships or something.
I like it.
Beep boop 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 ba-doo.
I like
That's
it.
how airships work.
So you would be in Final Fantasy 14. You wouldn't be Sid. You would be Sid's assistant. So you'd
Yeah.
be either Biggs or Wedge.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. I don't want any of that big Sid energy. I feel like something bad's gonna happen to that guy. I want to be like next in line to like take over the business after he goes off on an adventure and gets murdered or something.
These are the
You're the
plans.
practical one.
Yeah,
In this. That's
yeah.
what you.
I'm the one holding the business down.
Yeah.
You or you're the one that was there when the business got exploded, but they find you and you're like half alive and you're like, it was these guys, go get them. But you live at the end and they're like, and it's okay because they're alive. And now the business is even better because they were the ones in charge rebuilding.
And it's not a picture of him anymore. It's a picture of me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's me.
You just somehow change your name to the owner's name as well. No, it's always been mine. What do you mean? It's always been mine.
I've got a overly large wrench for some reason. Like even though it's not
Yes,
useful.
it has nothing to do with that. Yeah. That's amazing. For myself, I always choose the Dragoon, which is the.
You didn't put Dragoon in the.
I
your
legitimately
class?
forgot to say that.
No. You know what? Well played. Well played.
I would love to say I did that on purpose. I did not. I legit forgot about it. To like, wait, that was mine.
But the most important question:
the
would your
Lancer.
Dragoon have a Yokai Watch Jibanon mount?
Oh my
Brian?
God.
Whoa, what?
So-
What does that mean?
So in Final Fantasy 14, they have video game crossovers every now and then. So one of theirs was Yokai Watch, like 2 years ago.
Oh, I get it. Okay.
And
That's
so,
awesome.
so one of the characters, which is Joe's favorite character, they actually made into a mount, and basically you're just sitting on its lap while it rides you
It's
around.
just this goofy-looking floating cat.
Perfect.
Orange and yellow cat with a really dopey face, and it's just this dude floating around.
Sitting on his lap.
On his lap.
And so I happened to be, when I was playing 2 nights ago, I happened to be running by and somebody actually had it in game next to me. So I was like, oh my God. So I just immediately I took a whole bunch of screenshots and showed them to Joe.
And then I was confused as to why my husband showed me how cool this mount was for his silly looking character. And his silly little character wasn't sitting on a Jibanon mount. And I'm still very confused as to why he would show me that and then be like, oh, but I don't have one.
Yeah, come on, Brian.
I'm sorry.
You're letting
Yeah.
all the Dragoons down out there.
I'm
I
sure
am.
it only takes 57 hours to, start the side quest
Right?
that begins the process of.
Or just spend $65 to buy it now.
I mean, like,
That's right. You actually could.
You actually
You're-
could.
You actually can.
you're telling me you just don't want it that bad. That's what it says to me.
Maybe.
Social life, MMO mount. MMO mount.
I didn't really put it into perspective until I've been playing Final Fantasy 14 a lot these past several weeks. I'm trying to build up to Endwalker, which actually comes out this week.
Yeah.
Which is the culmination of the 10 years of Final Fantasy 14.
Incredible.
And so I've been playing it, and so I think I was in the newbie channel because I hadn't played in so long. So they put you in there. And so when I was in there, somebody who actually was new was like, hey, by the way, how long does it take to play in order to get up to like current gen? or to Endwalker, and somebody in chat was like, I think it's roughly about 250 hours. And I was like, no, that can't be. And then I started thinking, I was like, oh no, it is. Wow. It absolutely is about 200, because each expansion is about 50 hours worth of playtime.
You can skip some of them though, can't you?
Yeah, you can definitely skip some stuff, but like,
just like streamline it. Can you do you need a grind? You probably need a grind.
Yeah.
Kinda. But even then, you don't really in this one. But if you want to do anything else besides your main job, you do. Like, in order to level up anything else, because like the main quest line does give you a good amount of experience. Everything else though does not.
Yeah, like if you want to like have fun, then yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, I would definitely be a dragoon. That's the ones that jump up high into the air, come down with the spear and everything.
Lancer. Dragoons are great.
I love the dragoon. They're the best. So yeah, thank you so much, Tariff, for that question. And in anticipation of the new expansion that comes out this week. So yeah, it's amazing. But now that brings us on to our first segment, which is myself. What are you playing?
What am I playing?
What am I playing? Yeah, this week I'm going to be talking about, or actually a bunch of us are going to be talking about No Man's Sky, which this year is its 5th anniversary. It came out August 9th, 2016. Which is crazy to me to think about, because I remember anticipating that game when it was first announced. And I know when it first came out, it did not have the best reception for a lot of people. But for myself, it was exactly the game I wanted.
I remember when they first started talking about this game, it was like, it sounded impossible. They were like, you're going to play this game. And then you're going to be set in a universe that is like real. It's going to be like on our servers, and there's going to be like a nearly infinite, not nearly infinite, very, very many planets that you're going to be able to visit. There's going to be so many planets that you're never going to interact with anybody while you're there, because like the odds of two people crossing each other are like absolutely minuscule.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't understand anything about that. I'm so excited to see what it is that they're putting together.
Mm-hmm. How would you all explain, I guess, in that vein, Manda, like what No Man's Sky is then? What is the game?
Yeah, the game basically is just exploration, the game. Especially when it first came out. You were just going from planet to planet, just seeing, because it's all procedurally generated, which means they just have a whole bunch of factors in there, and it's all just randomly happens for each planet. So you could end up with an amazing looking planet that actually, there are some Earth-like planets that do look like that. And then you have some other planets that are just like hellscapes.
Yeah.
And so like there's also animals on them that are completely procedurally generated as well. So that some of them could be like flying birds, or other of them could just be like walking monstrosities.
Flying birds? No, Brian.
I know.
What kind of alien world is this?
Oh my God.
These birds are flying.
I once got these. This is my favorite planet. I once got these little like Shetland pony looking things with a unicorn horn and wings. They were like all gray too. They were perfect.
You just stumbled into.
I start over all the time, but I still have that save file because it was and not only were they perfect, but it was a moon. I'm a big fan of the moons. Mm-hmm. Just less surface area, less work. But it was a snow one, so it was like all snow and then like Christmas trees and then like little like these Pegasi Shetland ponies.
You see,
it was perfect.
When My Little Ponies, when they need to go to the farm, okay, where they're really going is this planet. This is My Little Pony heaven.
How dare you besmirch the glory of my tiny little rain cloud Shetland pony Pegasi by claiming that they're My Little Ponies.
Yo, man, shout out to the bronies out there. All I'm saying. They're good peeps.
But this game, when it came out, was beautiful. You could literally look up, you could land on a planet, look up, and you could see all the other planets that are in that system. And it was just beautiful. I can't express how it looks.
Yeah, what was surprising about this game and what struck it for me when it first came out was the feeling that you were getting a unique experience that no one in the world was getting. Mm-hmm. And you have your ship, you're on this planet, and it's up to you to fuel the ship, upgrade the ship, get supplies together, survive the elements of that planet, whether it's acid rain or indigenous life that is hostile towards you. And so you kind of like live and get resources on this planet till you can get off the planet or get to the next planet or you're done. And then you just fly through space just like you would in real life until you come to another planet, land, and then start over that process of discovery. It's unique. It feels great.
Which brings up a great point is when you take off from the ground. I was used to playing games where your ship takes off, you hit load screen, it shows you like a little bloop 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 bloop, and then you're in space.
Yeah.
And this absolutely that doesn't happen. Is your thrusters like kick off and then you jump off the ground and then you tilt upwards whatever direction you feel is appropriate, and then you hit the boost and then you zoom into space, and like you get like that like rumble feature of the controller, and you get to see the ground disappear and then the clouds disappear and then thin out, and then like you're in outer space. And then like that just like that first moment of experiencing all of that was phenomenal.
It's
I feel like
magical.
it's still fun like every single time.
Right?
And especially that first time where the ship you first get is like broken, so you have to like scavenge this entire planet trying to get all the parts and carbon and whatever materials in order to fix the ship up. So you spend a good long time not flying, so that when you
Right.
actually are able to not just fly but break the atmosphere, it is fantastic. It's such a great feeling.
It is. And it also, when you land on a planet, seeing it's like, oh, okay, let me go into this direction, and as you're landing onto the ground, it's doing the exact opposite.
Yeah.
You're going through the clouds, then you see the topography, and then the topography actually comes into detail, and you're like, oh, and then you actually start seeing these structures as well on the planets. And it's a completely unique experience.
And then you can go on to like name everything on that planet.
Yeah.
If you're the first
Yeah.
person, because all these planets in some form actually exist in this metaverse. You can name all the animals you find, all the rocks, all the flora. And I had so much fun just naming it dumb stuff. Yeah, it mostly had to do with butts.
Oh no,
lie.
I took it way too seriously. There were
Ooh.
definitely times where I would be like 15 minutes of being like, yeah, but it's kind of like a bat, so like, I wonder what the Latin for bat is.
I did that for like one planet, and then I went like, let me just make a joke planet. Just made a bunch of like dumb names, and then after that, I just started naming them after video games I like. Like, this is the Tekken planet, and that's a Heihachi Mishima unicorn there, and that's a Jin Kazama bird. It flies. Well, careful. It, like, and yeah, and it was, and then I ran, and then I stopped, and then I was like, oh, what am I doing? No one's gonna land on these planets.
I feel like the cool part about No Man's Sky is I feel like that was its own game, and everyone played and enjoyed that, and then they kept making the game, and then like I feel like every time you pick it up, they're like, oh, here's a completely different experience. Same game, but like
It's like they're giving you the sequel.
yeah.
Who developed this? Hello Games?
this is Hello Games,
And
correct?
there's like one person in it, or
So it's one core dude, which is Sean Murray.
Sean Murray. Okay.
And he's like the face of the company. He's the
Right.
president and everything. But when the game released, there was only 15 employees there
Oh my gosh.
when they released. And this is a game that is, has quintillion planets.
All the things that we're talking about up to this point is from the first draft of the game, the original part.
Correct.
What we've discussed. We're not even talking about all the added amazing things. So
No.
15 people up to what we've discussed in this podcast together.
Exactly.
Made what we've. Okay, that's amazing.
Yeah, and I think right now, they only currently have like 5 employees. And they are
Oh my
still,
gosh.
only with only 5 employees, they're still continuously
Seriously?
adding on. Yeah.
Wait, they've reduced in staff?
I believe so, yeah. That's what I think I saw on his
Oh.
PlayStation blog post. Yeah.
It's absolutely phenomenal what they've been able to put together. Not just like the game itself, but the way that they've maintained it. They have like such a beautiful connection to the community. I feel like whenever they make updates or iterations, it's always like exactly what I felt that they needed. And I think that's because they go out of their way to like go to forums and then to go to events and be like, well, what could we do to make this better? And then they take that information and then push it out, which is amazing, because I don't think we've mentioned this, but all of the updates have been free. So they're genuinely just doing things to make people happy, which I can't think of another example of that, of like, hey, for 5 years we updated this game and we're not making any more money.
Yeah.
I thank you for reminding me, Amanda. We were talking about No Man's Sky right now because it is actually nominated for the Game Awards in the category of Best Community Game, and I think it's your points are exactly why I think it's going to probably win in that category, because there's listening, and they're not even just listening. They're also pushing forward their own artistic vision, and it's not too far one way or the other, and it's a nice synergy between what their viewers want or what their players want and what the directors, the artistic directors are going for. And I think it's a great blend, and it's working.
Yeah. And by the way, okay, so I have to amend my earlier statement, which was when they released, they had 15 people. The game was in development for 5 years, and their team averaged only 6 employees throughout the entire 5 years.
Wow.
So this entire game, was in development for 5 years, but they only had roughly 6 people throughout that entire time.
Okay,
That's what it was.
Since then, have they increased in like?
I assume so. I haven't seen any amount of people that are there right now.
They've been getting more and more popular. As time goes.
And so it's been out for 5 years. They've had 17 major updates, or 17 updates, and I think like 6 of them were like major updates, major milestones that they did. And so like some of them just added, like the very first one that they did, because when it first released, it had not great reviews. A lot of people were expecting a game that they didn't produce.
They wanted combat. They wanted it to be Halo. They wanted to like go out and then fight. They knew it was online, so like, where's the multiplayer?
Yeah.
Why can't I fight anything? And it was like, oh, I think you missed the purpose of...
Space is lonely. Learn this now.
It is. But I got the game that I wanted. It was the game I wanted, and I enjoyed the hell out of it. But then when they released the first major update, I think it was either 6 months or a year after it first released, and it was a huge jump. It was one of the things that it was one of the main components that people wanted. It was actually base building. It was called Foundations.
Okay.
And so you actually could build a base on a planet and put down some roots and craft some things and talk with people,
which is crazy because the entire like purpose of the goal of the first iteration of the game was to travel to the center of the universe. So they wanted people to like jump on a planet, enjoy it for a bit, jump off, go to the next planet, enjoy it for a bit, jump off. And the community came back and was like, I really like this one though. I like this planet. I want to live in this planet. And instead of being like, that's not the game we made, they were like, all right. And then the base building mechanics are really, really good.
Yeah.
Nice. Man has made a really good like loft right on like it's like ocean waterside.
I make vacation homes. I just like I'll find like the perfect like sunset, and then I'll make that whole wall windows, and then I'll make like a sofa and like
it's
I know
really nice.
Okay.
I don't know if you have like good pictures of Amanda, but if you do,
I should drop them in the Discord. They're all very good.
Yeah.
There's one I have over like this blood lake, but when the sun rises, oh my god! And, I think this is new. I don't think this was out even in the second expansion. But when you land on the planet and when you take off from the planet, like this red dust comes up, like that.
Nice.
You remember that scene in Star Wars where they're going over like the white planet and then it turns red? It's kind of like that. It's so pretty.
Also, Sunrise over Blood Lake sounds like an amazing detective novel that I am really into reading.
Oh, I should hold murder mystery parties in my loft.
Sunrise over Blood Lake. Oh no, the first murder has happened.
I would love to go to that murder mystery, but I don't know if I would be the one being murdered.
No, let me solve this mystery for you. Yes, you will be, Brian. I'm sorry.
I think it'd still be worth it.
We know it.
Yeah, it'd still be worth
it's you. You're the one's going to be. Yeah.
Understandable.
And who did it? I don't know. So many motives.
Too many
in this universe.
In our defense, we would only be murdering you because you would be the easiest to reboot.
That's
Fair
true.
enough.
It's
Fair
not
enough.
really murder if we can just restart you.
Right. So like over the years, they actually added a story element to it. So before it really was, it's just nothing. It was just, you just go to the center of the galaxy.
You kind of made your own story, which
Exactly.
is, I think, is why it was challenging for a lot of people. In the same way Skyrim is challenging for some people, is there's stuff there, but it's up to you to kind of fill in the blanks and to do your own journey and whatever it may be. And like the place, the universe is populated with about 3 or 4 different species of aliens that talk different languages. And like the idea that you're learning their language and learning about their cultures was a story. So I was actually very surprised after the base building expansion. They were like, no, we're coming with a real story. I was like, oh, okay. Did we already have that? Yeah. I thought that was no. Okay, all right. But how was the story? What was the story? I guess different.
So the story was basically there's an entity called the Atlas, and so it's a giant floating diamond. Let's just say because it's the diamond shape, and so it was a thing that you would go into, and it would just show up in random solar systems, and you would find it and you would go into it and it would just be telling you a bunch of just nonsensical stuff. And so as you went along and got in contact more and more with it, you actually realized as the character that you're in a game within a game. Like you are a game.
What?
So
wait. Are they throwing in like simulation theory?
Yes.
Oh, yes. I love simulation theory.
You do love simulation theory.
Yes. Oh, it is.
Because in the end, it just means that life is a video game.
Yeah.
Hey.
And that's what it was. It was one of those like, oh my God, you guys went meta with this. But they did it in such a way that it's like, all right. Like, this is pretty great. But the
cool.
visual that it brought with it as well was amazing. And it just added that little something for people that do need some sort of hook or some sort of something to grasp towards. And so, yeah, that's what it was. And so they added that. They've added a bunch of other updates as well. They added like a way for you to get carriers. So you can actually have your own fleet of different ships that you can send out and collect money for you on missions.
They did hostile aliens,
Yep.
which they've always had like little drone stuff, but they had like these monsters that jump out of the sand at you. And then most recently, you can be mayor. You can be space mayor.
That's right. You can come along a town and play Animal Crossing.
Hi there, I'm Space Mayor.
And that's called. I think that was called
Frontiers.
Frontiers. Yes. So they added Frontiers, and yeah, you can be Space Mayor, and you can build up a town from nothing and make it into something that actually also makes you money.
Are you sick of monsters popping out of the ground? Are you so upset of that unicorn that keeps pooping in your lawn? Vote for me, Space Mayor. I got ideas. I've got opinions.
I love how I love how thin the story reasons are for like you running the freighter or you being mayor. You show up and they're like, "Oh, thank goodness, someone else. Would you like to be mayor?" And you're like, "Yeah." And they're like, "Welcome to being mayor."
I can retire now.
They have like a sash and a top hat just waiting for you.
Yeah.
Here, take these large scissors. You'll need them one day.
I think you get there, they're immediately attacked, and then the mayor dies, and they're like, "No one else wants to be mayor. You want to be mayor?" And you're like,
So
"Yup."
there is a murder mystery element.
It's not a mystery. You see him die.
And how you get your first freighter is that you like warp into the solar system, and then there's like, "Hey, we're under attack," and you're like, "I guess I'll help you." And then when you help them, like, "All right, I'm tired of this. You want to do this? you want this free freighter?"
He's like, "I'm clearly very bad at being captain. Would you like to be captain?"
Yeah, sure. So as mayor, are you like in charge of stuff? Is there like a town or something that you're making choices for? Sorry, I fell off of No Man's Sky. I'm not as good as you all. I wasn't able to keep it as real as you all have been over these past years. So what was Space Mayor let you do?
Space Mayor, so you become mayor, and then they basically just come to you with the decisions. Like, "Hey, listen, we're thinking about building either like a spaceport or a tavern. What do you want?"
Tavern.
Yeah, I picked a tavern as well.
Yeah, come on, easy.
I picked a tavern.
Being mayor is easy.
It is. And so like you do that, and then like, all right, we need some supplies for it. So then you bring them whatever they need.
Beer.
And then it takes real life time in order to build it. So
But-
it's like,
But it's nice because it also connects to your base. So if you've built a base, they'll be like, "Hey, we need like 3 of these like sun bananas." I forget what they're called. And you'll go to your base and you're like, "I already have sun bananas." So you like pick a bunch of them and then bring them back.
I think they're called bananas.
But if you don't have any sun bananas, then you might have to go to like a volcanic planet to like look for them. So like I like how they all connect in that way.
yeah. Yeah, and it's just another thing for you to do. It's mainly all that this is. It's just something else for you to do in the game.
Now I'm just picturing a volatile volcano planet just to get some bananas.
Some sun bananas.
Yeah. But the real key is that you can't pick up the sun bananas unless you have the hazmat gauntlets.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the thing with No Man's Sky is that it's all about resources. It's all about like you need the gauntlets in order to get the bananas. So you need to craft them. You need to make them. So it means you need to go to these different islands to find the elements to like put together. Sorry. I'm in Animal Crossing terms. It's the same game pretty much.
It's the same thing.
It's the same game. You make your base, you travel some other islands, you dump all your stuff, you go to the next island, the next planet.
Wait a minute. Is there a captain in this game too?
You're
Does somebody
captain.
You
sing
are
you
captain.
things?
You're
You're captain.
Oh.
You're the captain now.
And I sing. You better believe I sing. That's cool. So they had a base building,
Space Mayor.
Space Mayor, a story. Anything else that they kind of added over the past
The other
few
major
years?
thing that they added was basically the movie Alien, that
heard
little
of it.
indie movie called Alien.
Yeah.
They basically added that, and that's what Amanda was talking about with like this alien entity where you could come along a derelict like freighter in the middle of space.
Ooh, spooky.
Yeah.
And then you can dock with it, and then once you're in there, like all these different aliens pop up, but you can get great rewards once you're in there.
Lean with it, dock with it.
Yeah.
That's what I say.
And they've also done like a lot of small stuff too. So Brian mentioned that it's procedurally generated. So I don't know how many different assets they had before, but they're constantly adding new assets.
Correct.
So you would previously be able to see like these everything was very different, but sometimes you'd be like, there's like 10 main archetypes of planets.
Correct.
And now there's significantly more, which like I mentioned, like that dust particle thing coming up when I took off, that didn't exist at the beginning of the game. So that's what I meant when like every time I come in, I feel like I'm playing like a brand new iteration of this, not just an updated game, but like almost like the version 2 or the version 3, because you land on a planet and you genuinely don't know what you're going to see there,
Right.
which is very exciting.
Yeah. I think the newest update that they released is called Prism, and it introduced giant sandworms.
Which was only like a couple months ago.
Yeah, just a couple months
still
ago.
pretty new.
Yeah. And
Sandworms, like Dune?
pretty much, yeah.
Nice.
And then they added another update after that one, which lets you ride them.
Okay, now we're talking.
Yeah.
I did
Now
not see
we're
that.
talking.
I did see some sandworms. I didn't know that was an update, and then I was like on my world, and I was like, that is a giant creature.
Yeah, I think they only added that like maybe 2 weeks ago. It's very new, and I think that's also people, because I think when they first released it, the giant sandworm thing, people were just like, "Hey, it'd be cool if we could ride that." And then Sean Murray's like, "All right, yeah, why not?" That's like 4 lines of code. It's fine. You can do it.
when they set out to make this game, and they released the premise of this space traveling game where there is literally a universe ahead of you, and they even said like literally there is as many stars in our galaxy as there are in real life, and it's infinite, and it'll continue to grow and expand. And the fact that they've been able to hold to that promise over these few years is mind-bendingly impressive. And I can't wait to see how they do this year at the awards.
Correct. And so one of the cool things that the community did for them, because the community is actually really huge into this, both on Reddit and a couple other places. They're huge into this game. And so the Reddit actually pulled together money in order to buy the billboard that's directly across the way. That's what they see when they first open up the door. And they bought the billboard space for it for the month that it came out. I think the 4th year anniversary, I want to say, or the 3rd year anniversary. And it just said, thank you, Hello Games, thank you, Sean Murray. And
look at that. Ugh.
Yeah.
They're getting paid in hugs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
see, they exit their
There it
building,
is.
and then just that reminder that they've
Just
done a good job.
giant hug on a billboard.
Yeah.
I love that.
And that was cool. And they've done a bunch of other things. They've like sent them pizza. They've done a bunch of other like just silly things that the community has done for Hello Games as a thank you for sticking with them.
Now I want to be paid in pizzas.
Ooh, pizza and hugs?
Ooh. Like they show up with the pizza and then they like open up their arms like, yeah, bring it in.
That's a great restaurant premise. Pizza and hugs. You all right?
I love that this is everything that you want in life, but this is literally my nightmare. I'm gonna pay you in hugs. I'd rather starve.
But we also got pizza. Again.
I like pizza. Leave it and back away.
They're both like my comfort food and like and also like a comfort gesture. It's great. It's great.
It's comfort and food.
Yeah, I can do it at the same
Ah.
time. Just hugging someone with one hand, I'm like putting a slice of pizza in my mouth.
And the other person hugging you is like, is there grease on me now?
Are you chewing in my ear? Continues my nightmare.
All right. Well, I think that's enough No Man's Sky talk. We're going to hopefully we'll be talking about this game for years because it's still just improving. I don't even know what they're adding to this.
It's a
crazy.
sandwich that just keeps getting. It's like one of those long 6-foot subs, but they keep adding another foot.
Yeah.
Like, so you can't even like get into it.
It's like, I'm going to need to get a bigger table, my man. You got to let me know about these things.
They should figure out a way for me to send them more money. I almost feel bad. Every time I come back, I'm almost like, I didn't
probably
pay
can.
anything for this. I should just like,
Buy merch. Christmas, yeah. Got the holidays here.
One of the things they did say is that every single time they do release an update, it does shoot towards the top of the sales charts. So they are
So
getting
more
more
people buy it.
people to buy it that probably were like, oh, maybe I'll try it out now. This is the thing that's going to drag me into it. And so, yeah. So
They
it has
should
worked
start-
out for them.
I think their conversion to PS5 was free too.
It was.
Yeah, they're great.
Yeah.
They should
Great.
start like putting advertisements in the game, like product placement.
Oh my gosh.
You get to a planet and it's just like brought to you by Coca-Cola.
It's got like Mountain Dew White.
Oh, God. Well, y'all, thank you so much for joining us for that. What are you playing? Now let's talk a little bit about the news this week, you guys. So what I'd like to start, this is going to be short. The news this week is Smash Brothers Ultimate. You know, they got their final character in, which was Sora. And then they just released their final balance update, which means they're putting in some nerfs and some buffs for different characters depending on what it is.
That can't be the end.
No, it's perfect now.
It is.
Yeah.
But, look, I understand no more characters, but balance updates are those. That's what you do for all games. Street Fighter still gets balance updates.
No, they don't have to. It's perfect.
It is.
Oh, right. Sorry, you're right. I missed.
And he actually thinks that as well, because his quote is Sakurai, the creator of the game, said, "With this, the balance tuning is complete.
Okay.
Thank you for your hard work to all of those involved in the fix."
So long, and thanks for all the fish.
Yeah. So it's insane. Like Smash Brothers, Smash updates are over. Animal Crossing updates over. Like, man, it's a good thing No Man's Sky is still updating because we got
Something's
nothing
got
left.
to update.
No, they said the free Animal Crossing updates are over.
Yes, that's right. That's
Uh-huh.
right.
Now we want your money.
Yeah.
And then Titanfall, the amazing movement-based first-person shooter that put Respawn Entertainment on the map.
Yes.
They're the ones that are, if you don't know, they're the ones that do Apex Legends.
Right.
Is actually being delisted from stores next year in March.
Titanfall 1 or Titanfall 2?
1.
One?
Titanfall
Okay,
1.
that's fine, because Titanfall 2 is superior in every way.
Yes.
So that's fair. Everyone should go play Titanfall 2.
They should. The game is actually, unfortunately, has seen its actually fair share of hacking and DDoS attacks that have completely brought down its servers over the last, couple of months to year. So that's another, I think, kind of nail in the coffin for, we really don't want to have to upkeep this as well as... do these other things. So they're going to stop selling it. They're still going to have the multiplayer servers up. So if you want to play, you still can. But
go check out Titanfall 2 and Apex. Respawn's a cool company. They're actually the original creative team behind Call of Duty Modern Warfare. And they had a falling out with the publishers and pretty much lost their game. And, Call of Duty is one of the biggest games, Activision. But they were like, we're going to keep making Call of Duty games just without you. And they were like, all right, we'll make our own stuff. And obviously, Respawn is their name.
Oh, that's fun.
And they went and made Titanfall and Apex, and they get first person shooters. They brought the idea of RPG elements to first person shooters. They recreated what FPSs are. So
And
check them out.
Blizzard Activision ain't doing so good right now, so maybe don't
That's
put
so
your
good.
money there.
Hey,
Maybe
yeah.
and this is
That's what I'm saying.
same creators.
Yep.
Go Titanfall 2.
Go Titanfall 2. Go Apex.
Yeah. And Titanfall 2 was criminally underrated when it first came out. I'm sorry, not underrated. Undersold when it first came out.
Yeah,
Because
it's
it
a
was an
shame.
amazing game. It actually got great reviews.
Online and single player.
Online single player. It had an amazing campaign. And it just did not sell very well. And it was sad.
You get to jump in a mech and start fighting, and it's amazing.
It is. It's probably one of the best first-person shooters of the last decade.
Agreed.
So, yeah, check it out if you haven't yet. The Titanfall 2 is amazing. And then the last thing I want to talk about, actually, is just a little riffing that I want to do on the Xbox Game Pass games that they've been releasing.
Ooh.
Especially the ones I think they released just this last Thursday on the 2nd. They released, I think, 10 different games? And
what highlights?
Stardew Valley.
Yeah.
Nice.
Really
Play it
nice. Yeah, please do. I think, Joe, you haven't played it yet, right?
No, it's on the list.
It's on the
It's
list?
gonna happen.
You want to talk about someplace where you can make food?
Oh, it's
Stardew
worth
Valley.
it. It's worth it.
So much food.
Oh my God, yeah, the best food. So they added Stardew Valley. They also added Final Fantasy 13-2, which if you haven't played it, it's actually not a bad game.
13-2.
That's the one with lightning.
Oh, there's that's a trilogy, isn't it?
It is a trilogy. The third one is Lightning Returns.
Okay.
So yeah, they added that. A couple other ones. I think Among Us as well is going to be coming pretty soon, later on this month.
Go ahead.
You got Halo Infinite that's coming out the 9th, which is this week as well. That's also on
I hope
Game
that's
Pass.
good. I want Halo to be just as good as everyone wants it to be.
That's the multiplayer and the game, or just the multiplayer?
The campaign. The multiplayer is already out right now for free. So if you have a PC or if you have an Xbox, it's completely free. You can play the multiplayer right now.
Seems to be getting pretty good.
Yes.
Like reviews.
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Did you just say that was completely free? Like you don't even need Game Pass for it?
No, it's completely free.
Wow.
It is free to play.
They are confident.
Yeah.
Good for them.
Yeah. They're like, no, you just pay for the campaign.
Can we play it on our PlayStation?
No.
It ain't that free.
All right, Sony, come on now.
There is a price of admission.
There is. They also lawn mowing simulator. It got added.
It's about damn time.
What have I been doing with my life?
And
Forza what?
this is Lawn Mowing Simulator 22, right? Like,
obviously. This is the newest one.
I don't
newest
want
one.
2K22.
2K22, baby.
I don't want those outdated lawnmowers.
You know, I don't enjoy mowing our lawn. Like it's one of Troy's activities. I hate it. So but I would definitely pretend to mow virtual lawns for like hours.
Yeah.
15 minutes into my backyard. Too much. But like I could play 4 or 5 hours.
Reality.
Lawnmower,
I know nothing about this game, but I'm already fantasizing about customizing my lawnmower. Get it like some gold rims,
Some flames.
I'm thinking we've all been trained to want to do this. We've been trying to find rupees in grass for like ever. We've been cutting the lawn in all these random places for grinding rupees forever. So I feel like this is already exactly what I want to do in my
This
life.
is it, Joe. This is it. Now's the time.
It has happened. My day has come.
Then also they're adding Aliens Fireteam Elite. That one, the one that's kind of like the other, like Friday the 13th and those other types of games where one person, one person's a xenomorph and then 4 people are just like the survivors.
like Marines.
Yeah, Marines.
Fun.
So you get to play Aliens 2.
Correct.
And then everyone gets to play. That's fun.
Yeah. So I think that one's going to be added at the same day as Among Us, which I think is December 14th.
Game Pass is good.
It's good.
Amanda and I, we do not own an Xbox, but we do own Game Pass. That's how good Game Pass is.
Yeah.
It's amazing. I mean, you've known me. I've been spouting the Game Pass highlights for the last 2 or 3 years. I know.
We listened.
I'm
it
glad.
only took Forza. Look,
I know.
I don't know what to tell you, man. Until Forza, I was like, yeah, Game Pass, whatever. Who cares? Oh, is that a pinata? Is that a car blowing up a pinata? I'm in.
So yeah, that will do it for our news this week. But we still have our tasty topic, and our tasty topic is going to be brought to us by Troy.
All right, so the Game Awards are going to be happening December 9th in the evening, coming up in December. And that is the Jeff Keighley joint. Jeff Keighley is a former journalist and TV presenter and all around just a video game hype dude who loves showing off new games.
He loves talking. I think he loves talking to begin with.
Talk
and then
away.
games are, just superfluity.
Yeah,
to
talk
it.
away, man. So every year, we've been watching the Game Awards for years and years and years now. They used to be on television on Spike TV and G4 TV, and then they transitioned to internet. And Jeff Keighley has put in a lot of work to get sponsors and to kind of make people outside of the games industry feel like this is a legitimate award show.
Oh yeah.
That being said, every time the Game Awards comes out, I always tell myself, I don't really, I like to see awards, but I don't really care. I like to play games for the games. I'm not in it for the awards. And I'm like, all right, well, I'll watch it. And then they release the list. And for an hour, I'm like, oh my gosh, why wasn't XYZ game nominated? Oh my goodness, how dare they? But I'm just have so many feelings. And beforehand, I'm like, no, it doesn't matter. And then I'm just enraged and happy. Or on the other hand, I'm totally happy if a game I liked got nominated. I'm like, yeah, you deserve it. You should have gotten it. I'm fully invested. So I'm wondering, for you all, and we'll go into the background of the Game Awards and how it works and all that, but
Sure.
for you all, when it comes to award shows for games, where do you fall on it? Do you like them? Do you not like them? Do you hold stock in them? What's your own stamp on the Game Awards?
I feel like this is video game Super Bowl. That's how excited I am. And it's sad that we've been doing this COVID thing recently, because I love when we used to get together and then make Super Bowl style snacks and then all sit around the TV and then you would genuinely I remember the last time they had a Dragon Age announcement. I was so excited. You would have think that there was like sports team touchdown field goal bit. I was just yeah!
Babe,
And
you were shimmering.
It was all, and then I couldn't talk about anything else for the rest of the night.
You got on Twitter and all the Dragon Age stands were just like exploding with all the little details.
They were.
We can't talk about that, but, but I feel like that's the energy that I get from these. So like,
I think Super Bowl is a perfect way to put it, because yes, we're there for the content, which is the awards and everything, but we're actually there for the commercials.
Yeah,
we're there to find out what's going to be coming out, what's going to be doing these other things, and which is actually, I think, more of what the Game Awards kind of is about now. It's more about what announcements are going to be made versus what's going to win Best Game.
And it took me a while to realize that, because I was going to Game Awards when they were back in the day, like, oh, these are like the award show, and then like half of it was just trailers. And I remember being before kind of like incensed or being like, I just wanted like awards. Like, why are you showing me all these things I can't play? Until I realized, oh, this is just what this is. I should stop caring about the awards part, but I still care. I don't know.
But it's all about video games.
Yeah.
I actually love it. I'm in the same boat you're in, Troy. I usually try not to care so much before. I'm like, whatever, it doesn't really matter. And then it turns out, and then like they show you the list, and I'm like, but you're missing this game that was so good. And then, but I mean, all of those are good too. I wonder which one of them would be like, what would you do with winning this? Would your game be like skyrocketed into awesomeness? Just an indie game deserve it more than a AAA game? And I have like a whole existential crisis about all of the choices that there are. And then I'll go online and I'll talk with other people and be like, what did you guys think? And then hearing other people like listening to other people's opinions about what's missing or what's not missing or how some games deserve it and how some games didn't. I kind of love it. I love everything about it, and I watched the Super Bowl for the commercials, so it was always perfect for me.
It is like that as well.
Yeah, it just never. The only thing I don't like though, I didn't like when they started to make it more commercialized and they were like, see celebrity play game. Look at celebrity talk about game, and it's like, hey guys, is this one a little too far? This one a little too far.
Especially when you can tell that celebrity is like not. I mean, there are many different levels of gamer, and you don't have to be 1,000% into video games, but it's like cut to celebrity. They've never played this game before. They don't know what they're talking about. They're only half paying attention. It's like, oh, you couldn't have found someone who like, because there's so many celebrities that like love video games. So it's like, you couldn't like.
Yeah, but sometimes those presenters are unironically or ironically funny, though.
They sometimes
see them get up there, and it's still kind of entertaining.
Yeah.
One of the celebrity presenters this year is going to be Simu Liu, Shang-Chi,
awesome.
Yes.
which is fantastic. I just want to see that guy more in general in my life.
Agreed.
So, like, whether he's really into games and comes out and is like, "Yo, guys, what's up?" and sorry. I don't know why my Simu Lee impersonation drops F-bombs.
It's all that happened in the movie, you know? You just heard it all the time.
Didn't the Video Game Awards give us Keanu Reeves' You're Beautiful?
That was E3.
That was E3. Okay.
Yeah. But I mean, that could happen.
Oh, it could happen.
That's what's kind of exciting about it.
Yeah. And I think the celebrity, I almost said impersonators. The celebrity presenters, they're impersonating like in games. The celebrity presenters, though, I think some of those are just kind of brought on by corporate entities because they have to pay for the awards somehow.
Yeah.
So some of them are correlated and accumulated by Jeff Keighley.
Yeah.
But some of them really are like, hey, we'll give you X amount of money in order to play this trailer, in order to do this one bit.
Right.
And for those of us that are trying to bring more awareness to like the games industry and like normalize it in the same way that movies and music are normalized and in the pop culture, the idea of being able to see Simu Liu or Vin Diesel, and then on the next screen you see Joseph Fares, who made It Takes Two, like seeing them like back to back and being like, you guys are sharing the same stage. That's something that I want people to like get used to seeing.
I agree.
In pop culture. But I go through the same roller coaster you do, Joe. I'm not into it. I'm being cool. I'm really invested when I hear the nominees, and then I like spend the next 2 weeks rationalizing that I'm like not really into it. And then by the time like the awards come, I'm like glued. And I'm like I'm riding the whole time. And then once it's over, I'm like I didn't really care.
It didn't really matter. It's cool. Like the one that I wanted to win, like totally didn't win, but that's okay. Like the other one deserved to win.
Or like
too.
the one that you didn't want to win one, and you're like, sure, whatever. Of course it would. Like everyone loves that game anyway. But what
But you feel super vindicated when you're like, oh, there's this indie game that I played, and then it wins. And then you're just like, not only are you happy for that game because it was so good, but then you feel like I knew it. I knew it was good. I mean, everyone agrees with me, and I feel great. But I mean, it doesn't matter. I mean, but I did win.
But I feel like the Game Awards specifically also, for a lot of its awards, also just doesn't care about them.
Yeah.
Like there's like one like segment where they do like 5 or 6 back to back, and it's just like the best streamer or best content creator.
So upset at that.
And then the best whatever.
They don't even like televise some of the
awards.
awards. I'm like, you're the Game Awards. I actually want to see that part.
There are no commercials. There's no reason for you to skip these.
Yeah.
It's not like a TV award show where they're like, oh, we awarded these while you were on that commercial break because people are here in person.
Yeah.
It's like, no, this is the internet. You're in charge of all of this.
And what's sad is that it's not even that I want to see the awards because I just want to see like, will the one I like win? Like I want the people who worked on that game to come up and be able to say a thing and like thank people that help them get to that part. Like I want to see those. I want to learn from those people. I want to see their names and be like, I need to look them up later. Like and I feel bad that we miss out on that when they skip over awards to show you trailers.
I love when people don't understand acceptance speeches.
Yeah.
They go like on, or they're like super awkward. I like eat that. Oh my gosh.
I love it.
There are
It's
people.
So fun.
There are people.
Yeah. Or they're so excited that they just do something like inappropriate, like they start cursing or something.
I love it.
Like just because no matter what it is, it's because they're like so genuinely invested.
Oh, absolutely. And it's one of those things because it's streamed, especially nowadays. It's mainly streaming that people watch it on. It's also not one of those places where people are like, oh, I don't want to watch this streaming. It's like, no, most of those people that are watching this are also watch Twitch. They also do these other things.
Yeah.
So I don't think they would care if it was an extra 10 minutes in order to have acceptance speeches and actually find out about people that they normally wouldn't hear about.
And the Game Awards are being pretty cool about the whole stream thing as well. They went out right on their website and said, hey, like this is stream friendly. Please host us, stream us.
I
Like
love
you don't
that.
have to worry about getting caught
which is
or anything
different
like
from
that.
last year because I think last year they only had a certain set amount of people that could do it, and so there was a lot of
Right.
backlash about
It had
that.
to do with the trailers they
Exactly,
were playing.
yeah, that's
and
what it
and
was.
Still, the reality of this is that anything they're playing, they probably had to secure the rights to be allowing the audio, let alone video, just the audio to play through.
I'm
streaming.
glad
I
they
agree.
did the extra work to get it for this year because last
Yeah.
year was their first like COVID
Yeah.
version,
Yeah.
and so this year they're doing it again. They know what they're doing a little more. Which
Exactly.
Is nice.
So they're like, so last year it was just a couple of people because those are the people that they could, get secured. And this year I think they probably had a stipulation like, hey, if you need to show a trailer, you need to be able to show a trailer for everyone.
Yeah.
It can't just be certain things. So I like that.
Yeah,
That's great.
I like it too. I want to look at a few just key lists because, like I said, we have opinions.
We do.
So I want to look at just some key categories and get you guys quick opinions. But for those who don't know, the way that the Game Awards kind of sift through what games even get nominated is pretty much Jeff Keighley looks and sends out a form to a bunch, over 100 different publications, international, but just all across the world. And that form has like all the categories on it, like best indie game, best sports game, and it's blank. And pretty much each publisher or website as a group need to put forward what they think should be nominated. Not in any order, not like we think this is the best. Just here are the 5 that we think should be in this category. He collects all that information from the over 100 or so different publishers and journalists and journalist websites and whatnot. And then they could look to see which ones in each category got mentioned the most. And the top like 4 or 5 out of each one of those categories will then be the nomination list. And then he resends that out to the same people. And then based on those, based on that criteria, or based on those nominations, then they vote to see which one they think is best. And then they get that information. And that gives us 90% of the vote total. What is kind of cool about that, he makes sure to actually look into disabled publishers and experts that maybe don't have necessarily a whole journalistic company, just so that they can properly rate the games that are being nominated for accessibility options.
I was to say I saw that as a new category this year.
Yeah.
Is the accessibility.
So it's good to know, and they have like everyone from all over the spectrum, whatever your disability or your accessibility needs are. They have someone from every side of that, which is super cool.
Yeah.
The final 10% of that vote comes from the audience. So you can go on right now to the website and I think you have to sign in with something. It's not, but then you get to go to each category and then choose which one you think would be the best for each category. You don't get to choose, any game. It's based on what Jeff Keighley and his friends, as we say, has put together, and also his critics. There's a lot of people who are very critical of Jeff Keighley that are also on that list. And then you can, pretty much help. You get to choose 10% of it. When asked about the 90 to 10%, he pretty much said like, "Hey, we would love to give it to everybody, but not everyone has the same like playability options. Not everyone has multiple systems and all this stuff. So he gives 90% of the vote to the major journalists because they have more accessibility and they'll be able to kind of."
But it's also important when watching the Game Awards to just generally understand, and it's not a secret. Like the stats
it's on the
open.
website.
Yeah, so to understand like what you're watching is like, oh man, I can't believe they voted that way. It's like, no, that's just generally the opinion of like most journalists, and then you get your 10%. So it's like if your game doesn't win, it's not a big deal.
Yeah. Basically, you're the tiebreaker. You as the audience are the tiebreaker. If there's two games that did really well, let's see how the audience voted.
Put a little spin on it. Put a little spin on
That's
that.
exactly
See what
what
happens.
it is. Yeah.
And I voted. So like I'm ready.
I voted.
Yeah, I'm happy.
Ooh, you guys got your votes in.
We got our votes
Did you guys get your sticker as well?
Yo, rock the vote.
I had to vote because Tim Schafer asked me to. He was on Twitter and he said specifically he needed my vote. He said that they asked for me by name, which is a little weird, but it was okay specifically in this case.
Tim Schafer is Manda's comedic godfather.
He is. So I mean,
have to.
Yeah, Tim Schafer actually showed up with pizza and a hug, and she gave it to him.
I was like, the only hug.
You got it.
Oh man, that's my dream.
All right, so I'm gonna just a few categories. There's over like 20 categories. Now I can go through them all. So here's what's nominated for best debut indie game.
Okay.
All right, we have The Artful Escape, which is a trippy adventure game starring Carl Weathers and I think the actress who plays Cersei.
Oh, Gemma Chan?
No, from Game of Thrones.
Oh, Game of Thrones. Oh,
Lena Headey.
There we go.
So really great star-studded cast and just a trippy, mind-bending game. You have The Forgotten City, which I haven't heard of. I don't know if you guys have.
Forgotten City, I believe that might be the Lovecraftian game. I can't remember.
Okay.
I think so.
Very nice. We have Kenna, Bridge of Spirits, which we've talked about on here, nominated. Sable, which I absolutely adored, talked about a couple episodes ago. Open world fun game. And then finally, Valheim.
Oh, nice.
Which Brian talked about.
Brian, you've mentioned a lot.
I have.
And for me, my personal vote is Sable will win because I just really loved that open world adventure game. But personally, I think Valheim is probably going to win because that game did gangbusters on Steam.
It did.
What I understand.
I hope Kenna will win though.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's my hope in that category. But really, all those choices are fantastic choices.
Yeah, I was about to say it almost doesn't matter though. Everything in that category is a good game, a really great indie game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and I love that category as well because it's a debut game, which means you either knocked it out of the park to begin with, or you had something that was special about your very first game.
One of the things the Game Awards does that I really enjoy is I'll flip to the categories that I like, and it'll be a good assessment of like how I did in video games that year. It's like, oh, like we're talking about the podcast. It's like, oh, we talked about that one. Oh, and this one and these. Okay, we're pretty good. We got 4 out of 5 is pretty good. You can tell what we're not as interested in because you'll flip over to the sports tab, and I'll be like,
It's
Those
the same,
are games.
It's the same ones. It's the same games every year.
Today.
all right, best action adventure game because we all seem to play a lot of action adventures around here. We have Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, love it. Metroid Dread, which for Metroid fans I hear is one of the best Metroids they've made. Psychonauts 2, near and dear to my heart. Tim Schafer talked to you about specifically that game. Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, also phenomenal.
Yep.
And then Resident Evil Village.
This is solid games.
That is a category. I look at that category and I'm like, oh, this is how it feels to be stretched in 5 different directions. Oh, I get it.
I mean, obviously I had to vote Psychonauts.
I got to. I have to. Yeah.
He gave Manda a hug.
Did a Twitter hug. It's the best.
And gave me pizza.
Twitter hugs are the best because it's like a hug, but then I also don't have to hug anybody.
It's true.
This one's shout out to Hassel. You guys, we're going to weigh in on our sports games.
Oh, no.
Okay. Yeah, we're going to weigh in on sports games for Hassel. Okay. Categories are nominated for sports is Riders Republic, where you play as like skateboarding
That
and
game looks amazing.
everything.
BMX,
It actually looks fantastic.
Oh, the downhill thing?
Yeah,
Yes.
downhill
You
one
could be
where
on a
you could be like
bike,
a
arrow,
squirrel
snowboard.
person. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's awesome.
Inline skates. I don't know. Everyone races.
Yeah.
I wish I could try that. Hot Wheels Unleashed. Glad to see it. Glad to see it up here, Hot
Apparently it was
Wheels.
phenomenal.
Yeah, I heard this. That is a
Yeah.
great game.
Get up here, Hot Wheels. F1 2021, Formula Racing. Never in my bag. Never understood it. but for some people. FIFA 22, shout out to Hassel. I'm sure he is fist pumping right now in his car listening to this, getting the nomination. And then finally, Forza Horizon 5 nominated for.
Well, we know where
Best
Joe's
Sports.
vote is.
Yeah.
Joe's vote and what should win. I mean, it's
clearly.
Forza. It's Forza.
It's Forza
It's
5.
Forza. Sorry, FIFA. I love you.
Hassel's fist pumping just stopped.
Now
He's now punching.
Yeah, exactly.
the-
He's fist bumping the radio.
speakers.
Just very hard and quickly.
Ow! Stop it, Hassel.
Oh, that hurts, man. What are you doing?
Oh.
All right. Well, do maybe just one more or two more? How do you guys feel?
We could do one more. Let's do one more.
All right. Let's do Game of the Year then.
All right.
All right.
Dun, 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 dun.
So for Game of the Year, we have 6 nominations. We have Resident Evil Village. That's scary, scary game with the tall, scary lady. Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. We talked about it. Lovely game. Psychonauts 2. What up, Timmy? Metroid Dread, which is great because it is definitely a smaller game, a 2D game coming in. It Takes Two, the co-op adventure.
Great game.
Such an amazing game.
Wow. Game of the Year. Yeah. Visually, imaginationally, just breathtaking. And then Deathloop making it to round out our top 6. Also, Deathloop is just a great action game. It just feels good. It just feels good. It's like Doom, but without all the demons and stuff.
I would like to point out that I can see Troy's screen, and I can see that he didn't read them in order. That he reread them in Troy order.
I read them backwards.
Oh, okay. I had a really hard time choosing between It Takes Two and Psychonauts. Like I sat at that screen for a long time.
I think it's Psychonauts for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, because while I love It Takes Two, Psychonauts is just as imaginative to me artistically, but I'm bringing in my whole package of liking Psychonauts 1 from 20 years or 15 years ago and waiting for that game. And we're also we're not journalists, we're not unbiased. We invested in Psychonauts 2.
Yeah, we did. We kickstarted it.
Yeah, we dropped the money into that thing. So it's the one that I have the closest tie to, and it delivered on all those fronts.
And imagine that story of coming out with this game that was a little underrated when it came out and became gradually more popular, and then it gets reinstated and then it gets Game of the Year. That would be a lovely finale.
And even without that backstory, it's still a phenomenal game by itself.
I'm sorry, I just realized I made all of this into Psychonauts too.
That's okay. Joe and I are here because It Takes Two.
Yeah, all right.
It Takes Two.
You know what?
It Takes Two for me is out of that list would be my Game of the Year.
Nice.
Because that game...
It was the most innovative.
It was the most innovative gameplay-wise
that I played, I think, out of that list. I'm just sad because I did not play Metroid Dread yet.
I think you would
I
love
am
that.
so excited to play it. I love Metroid. I just haven't had time.
Yeah.
So I almost guarantee if I had, that probably would be in my number 1 slot. But It Takes Two was an amazing game. I couldn't imagine playing those characters and caring at all about their problems in reality. And then there was this elephant plush, and that's still sitting with me.
Every single level or every single different scene had a different gimmick. It had a different thing that you would do with your other person.
And it was original. You could just feel the thought that went into every single inch of that game design.
I would not be upset if they won.
Yeah.
I voted for Psychonauts, but I would not be upset if It Takes Two took it.
Yeah, and the fact that there's a fighting game section.
Yeah.
That's literally a one-off that they had to have put time in to have those mechanics work properly. And it was a one-off section that lasted a minute.
We finished that game last week, and we played shuffleboard our last playthrough, and we were like, we could just play shuffleboard and nothing else, and this would be a phenomenal game.
I'm glad you guys finished it. Yay.
I apologize for the segue, but I have to say this on the podcast because this is the first time it's ever happened in my entire life.
Uh-oh.
I beat Troy at chess.
Oh.
So, yeah, they have a full-on giant chessboard in that. And Amanda and I, we played chess for years and years. And she whooped me. She done whooped me. And in a good way, too. I saw the checkmate comment, and I was like, wait, how? you know you got beat good. Got beat good when you get checkmated. And you're like, how did that even happen? And then you're just examining the board like, I thought I had an out. I was well played. Well played, man. Well played.
I do think it is remiss of us, though, to not point out that I don't know why Forza Horizon 5 is not on that Game of the Year list.
Agree.
It was one of the main things that I was so cool, and I was like, I don't even care. It doesn't even matter. And then I saw the list, and I was like, wait a minute, the highest rated game on Metacritic, the highest rated game of every single publication there is, every place you go of the year. That is the highest rated game. And it is not in Game of the Year
and-
because it's a racing game. It's a sports game.
I think partially it's the fault of maybe it not coming out quick enough, and I don't mean that like it shouldn't even be like
I would agree with you if Guardians wasn't on those lists.
it's
I
came
would
out
t-
same time
Guardians only came out
in October, right?
No, Guardians came out like a week before Forza did.
I
A
thought it
week or
was
two.
October Guardians and then November for Horizon.
I thought Guardians only came out at the beginning of November. Ooh, you know what? Well, we're talking.
We can take a look at it. But I think like when he sent these votes out and they're like, think of the top games of this year. I feel like maybe some people on their staff had played for Horizon at that point, but not all. But it wasn't so like it wasn't in December, so it still qualifies for this list. But it also just didn't give enough people to really like get into it, so that when they think of this award, they're like, yes, Forza.
I think for Game of the Year, people go more towards like story-based stuff.
Okay.
And not that Forza doesn't have a story, but I think specifically when you list these 6 games, they all had
Yeah.
pretty
right.
packed stories. And then,
I didn't
yeah.
think about
Forza
that.
was released 11 days after Guardians of the Galaxy.
11 days. Okay, that is pretty close together.
I think if you look at best narrative, it's almost the same list. To
Oh,
Brian's point.
yeah.
And I do agree. I completely understand why Forza's not there. And at the same time, I'm like, man, come on. That game was like really good. And it's like the only time that Forza is probably ever going to have the opportunity to even be nominated on that list, because most of the time there's like a Ghost of Tsushima or a Last of Us 2 or like a Hades. And like, you're not going to fight with those. But there's not one of those this year. So they could have been like, look at us, the little racing game that could. And like, they can't. And it makes
The
me
little
sad.
racing game that could, that's backed by Microsoft.
Yeah.
Whoa,
Look,
whoa.
as
As I have pointed
AAA
out, it
as
is
can
a
be.
tiny studio.
Yeah, I know.
But when they make Fable, which is their next game, it
Oh,
will
maybe.
be
There we
narrative.
go.
Right?
Yeah, boom.
There
So
we
they're
go.
saving it. They're
That's
saving
fair.
it.
I like
for
it.
Fable.
I like it. I like it.
So make sure to check out the Game Awards. They're going to be December 9th, 8 o'clock p.m. That's Eastern Standard Time. A few things to keep in mind as you're watching is, there are going to be some fun celebrities showing up. The music is always pretty stellar. They bring in a bunch of different scores and orchestras to kind of play the great hits throughout the year, and I always enjoy that so much.
Yeah, I think they do the great thing that the Oscars does, where whatever is nominated for best music, they play a song from that
right.
game.
Have the artist come in.
Yeah, have either the
that's
artist or an orchestra
exciting.
play that live on stage. I think that's great.
Keep your eye open for categories like games for impact. Those are games that actually are like changing the world. Like they have either some outside of game element that are actually like planting trees or helping people. Like it's games for impact. I think is such a wonderful category, and also the accessibility category. Just trying to normalize more diverse ways to play for different people. So keep those in your mind, and also anticipate a game, which I think is the funniest category.
I know,
It's like a
just-
game based on
reward.
marketing.
Yeah.
Did you market your game great?
And some of them are like I think Starfield's on there. I was like, we got like a logo and a 15-second trailer. How are you? How?
But you might as well
How?
you might as well have Dragon Age on there. You might as well have the next Mass
I would
Effect.
have put Dragon Age on there.
But you know what I mean.
But God of War is going to beat all of them, though.
You might as well
I don't
put
know,
like Elder
Horizon's on that
Scrolls
list.
57
Is
on
Horizon
there.
on
Elden
this?
Ring's also on there.
Elden Ring's on that list?
Yep.
Ooh.
But like, what are we
don't
doing? We're
even
just
know.
rating our
That's the
hype.
thing,
Like
yeah.
it's such a funny dumb award. Gosh.
That category is truly most popular category.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
the other ones you could like, this is like artistically. That one is specifically just like what's the most popular thing right now.
It's for bragging rights of that company. Like,
Yeah.
our marketing team did a good job.
Or it's like a curse. You're like,
Oh.
I thought
Yeah.
we were doing great, and then we got most anticipated, and then the pressure.
And then when it finally comes out, it's like most anticipated at the Game Awards for 4 years in a row.
But yeah, check that out. There's going to be some good indie representation. We looked at debut indie, but they have a whole indie category, which has a lot of great games. Oh, Inscription's on there. I just started playing that. Amazing. Kenya, Loop Hero, Death's Door, 12 minutes. I could keep going. I need to put this down.
Maybe we'll get lucky.
Go check it out. Check out our social medias as well around that time. I'm sure we'll be dropping in our thoughts, whether we're on Twitter or Instagram or
Correct.
Discord. So keep with us, the Dragons, and we'll give you our opinions.
We will, because we got opinions.
We got
We
that
got
opinion.
opinions.
We got that opinion tea, and we're just kind of swirling it around. We're ready to
We're
sip.
sipping it.
That's right. Well, thank you so much for that, and thank you all for joining us. Unfortunately, that brings us to the end of this week's episode.
Do we get awards
Well, I mean, we might.
for getting to the end of the episode?
It's possible.
Maybe next time.
Have a junior mint.
Oh, hell yeah. Pop. Yum, yum, yum.
They're Christmas flavored.
What?
They are.
They are.
They're mints. They're always Christmas flavored.
Boom.
Wow, I thought we were going to talk about how the inside of them is colored for Christmas colors, like red and green, but like my mind has been blown. He's right. They are always Christmas. Oh my God. I eat Christmas flavored things all the time.
All the time. And if you would like to talk about your favorite Christmas things, join us online.
Looking for more Taste of Dragons content? Check us out on Twitter, Instagram, Discord, or Twitch for more discussions, more video games, and most of all, more sandwiches, or, in this case, opinions. We are at Taste of Dragons everywhere, and we'd love to hear from you.
Absolutely. And as always, my name is Brian.
My name is Troy.
I'm Amanda.
And I'm Joe.
And we are
The Taste of Dragons.
Have a great week, everyone.
Amanda, I nominate you for Best Hugs.
Yay! You're the only one who gets my hugs.
I nominate Joe. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay.
All right, fair.
I bring pizza. Pizza for all.
Ooh.
We are being awarded now.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
I brought them in.
How funny would that be in the Game Awards? They just hand him like a statue and a slice.
And a hug.
Well, the hug's optional.
You can't do the hugs
Well, I guess
because of
everything is
COVID,
optional.
but,
Yeah.
I like the award and then actually I want it to be a taco for
Like a
some
dirty
reason.
plate of
like it's like
It's
hard
gotta
to
be
eat.
something really hard
They're just like,
No
do I eat
napkin
this
or
now?
anything, so they just...
And then they
Just an overpacked
they're
hard
so
taco.
excited to take a bite of the taco, but then they can't talk about their acceptance speech because they have a mouthful of
starts to
taco.
fall apart while they're trying to
We would like to thank Robot
And there's just them crunching.
everyone at
Men and I leave the room because I can't hear this or watch this.
It's been like 2 minutes.
That's the end of this week.
Ba-da-da-da.